set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में
Viewers, as we count down to the Indian Economic Summit on 5th December, the big event of Republic TV, we have got an exclusive interview for you. Republic Business Team's exclusive interview where we have spoken to the chairman of the Board of Directors of Geo Financial Services Limited, KV Kamat. Listen in.
Hello and welcome to Republic. Today we have with us the doyen of Indian banking system, Mr. KV Kamat. Sir, thank you for joining us. Sir, you have been one of the foremost guiding forces in Indian banking ecosystem. What were your fundamental principles that guided your approach to business leadership?
Yeah, I think I go back to late 90s when we saw that the aspirations of a young Indian was changing. This was consequent to white-collar jobs being created, particularly in the IT sector. And as a result, there was a demand for retail products. So my journey, in a way, apart from the development banking journey which started in 71, the recent journey is 96 when I looked at as CEO of ICICI Bank, the opportunity in retail India, and whether it was a home, whether it was a car, whether it was a motorcycle or something to put into your home, that became the opportunity. There was one trend. The other trend that we leveraged was technology, because we could see that technology was going to drive everything that everybody did in any line of business. And of course, we in the banking business had no technology those days. So we overlaid it with technology. So if I were to sum it up, it was a resurgent India. If you remember the 2001-2002 period, India was in a resurgent mood. The aspirations of young people and the technology revolution, all three put together actually drove business. And I remained focused on those primary drivers throughout my career.
Drawing from your wealth of experience, how would you assess the current economic landscape in India?
Let me put it in one phrase. I have never been more optimistic than now. And I also would like to put it this way, that there was never a better time to have been born an Indian. And I mean it with all sincerity. Because no other country has today a runway of another 25 years, whether it is in infrastructure, whether it is in manufacturing, whether it is in every area of operations. And all this happening at a time when technology is changing at a dramatic pace and will drive everything that we do. So a runway of 25 years, a momentum that we can clearly see. When I say momentum, I'm talking about the growth that we see in the economy. We are growing at, latest report is that we should grow at 6.75.
Viewers, more details are breaking update coming in from Canada's Surrey. Indian nationals confronted Khalistanis outside the temple in Canada's Surrey. Khalistan activists gathered outside the Lakshmi Narayan temple in Surrey and tried to create unrest with raising slogans. That is right. Hindus confronted the Khalistanis with the Sanatan Dharma flags from other side of the road. Canadian police was deployed in the middle of the road to maintain law and order situation. So those visuals coming in, you can see the flags on your screen where we see that the Indian nationals, I repeat, the Indian nationals had confronted the Khalistanis outside the temple in Canada's Surrey. There was a confrontation, viewers. Let's go to Amandeep, who's joining us live. Amandeep, we're coming to you right now, and what we see on our screens are flags. We see flags where the Hindus confronted the Khalistanis with Sanatan Dharma flags from the other side of the road. And like we were discussing a short while back, the kind of unrest we see with these Khalistani elements, we repeatedly see that. One more instance coming in, once again, Amandeep from Canada.
Well, absolutely, Shivangi. And this time on the confrontation, Indian nationals are standing in front of the Khalistanis and raising the Sanatan Dharam flags to tell them that they are the Indian nationals and proud Hindus also. They are having the tricolor muffler in their neck also, just to show them that they are here to confront them. If the Canadian government is not speaking a single word against the Khalistani elements, so the Hindus and the Indian nationals are coming up outside their temples to protect their temples, to protect their nationality as well. Just because this incident has reported outside the Lakshmi Narayan temple in Surrey. On one side of the road, Khalistani elements were standing, installed the speakers, raising the Khalistani slogans and blaming the Indian government for the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. On the other side, Hindus, Indian nationals are standing with the Sanatan Dharam flag, and in fact they are raising the India slogans, and also they are confronting the Khalistanis. In the middle of that road, Canadian police was standing to maintain the law and order situation. And even Shivangi, before this, we have seen the incident outside the Kalibadi temple, that how these Khalistani elements tried to create the trouble outside the Kalibadi temple in Canada as well, by raising certain kind of slogans and putting out the flags of Khalistan. And even the Hindus are not stepping up outside any Gurdwara or outside any event of these Khalistanis. But these Khalistani activists are always trying to create the unrest and trouble while interrupting the ceremonies and the rituals and even the religious places of Hindu Dharam. And even the Indian people who are supporting the Indian, they are openly disrespecting the tricolor. They are openly desecrated the tricolor in front of the Canadian government. They are releasing the video with the abusing to Indian Prime Minister and Indian government as well. But Canadian government remains silent. And before this, Taranjeet Singh Sandhu was also interrupted inside the Gurdwara. So certain incidents every day are coming from different countries, just because these Khalistani elements are trying to establish their agenda by confronting the Indian nationals, by creating the trouble and unrest for the Indian nationals and the Hindu religion in other countries, just to raise their own flag. But the governments are not doing anything. Indian government is repeatedly taking up the issue with several governments that these are the radicalized youth, they are the radicalized people, they are trying to create the trouble, and Khalistani is a banned term in India just because it led to the terrorism in Punjab. But all the governments remain silent, and even the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau supported these Khalistanis and blaming the Indian government for the killing of Khalistani Tiger Force chief Hardeep Singh Nijjar. And that turned out to be one of the booster to these Khalistanis, that Canadian government are standing with them, not against them. So this all happened in the Surrey as well. But now when the Canadian government is not able to protect the Indian nationals and the Hindu religion, so Hindus are coming up to protect themselves and even their own religion places. Yes, Shivangi.
Well, Amandeep, like we have been discussing on Republic TV, we have seen that how these pro-Khalistani elements have kind of created a chaos in multiple places, multiple areas. And take us to the latest incident coming in, because we see a second incident. The first incident was when we saw that an Indian envoy, Taranjeet Sandhu, was heckled by Khalistani supporters. This happened in New York in a Gurudwara. This is happening in Canada, Surrey. Multiple kind of incidents, and the Indian government has made it very clear that these kind of incidents cannot be tolerated, and they've asked these governments to take action against these Khalistani elements. Amandeep.
Well, absolutely, Shivangi. This is the matter of concern about the security of the Indian ambassadors and the envoys who are in the different countries where these Khalistanis are actively working. If a Sikh Indian ambassador is visiting a Gurdwara who's having a legacy in the Sikh religion, his grandfather was a freedom fighter who established the Sikh religion, who died in the line of the protest while fighting against, fighting for the Sikh religion. And in fact, his great-grandfather's name was established inside the Golden Temple. That person was visiting a Gurdwara, and these people are trying to create the unrest during his visit. They are trying to create some kind of trouble during his visit. And in fact, when the Gurdwara committee has invited him, and on the second incident, again, they are coming outside the Lakshmi Narayan temple to raise the flags and the slogans of Khalistan with the speakers and loudspeakers and the mic, and also they are disrespecting the tricolor openly, that putting out on the road and walking on that. This is what had happened in Canada, in US, and even in Glasgow also. What we have seen in Glasgow Gurdwara, Indian envoy had a narrow escape from these Khalistanis when they tried to attack him. And even the Gurdwara committee again invited the Indian ambassador in Glasgow Gurdwara to discuss certain kind of issues. So this all is happening, and repeatedly New Delhi is taking up the issue with several governments regarding the security of their own diplomats and ambassadors and envoys, and even the Indian nationals also. Canadian parliamentarian Arya Chandra has also taken up the issue with the Canadian government that these people, these radicalized people, are trying to create the trouble for the Hindu religion in Canada, and asking and requesting his own government and the Prime Minister to kindly take up the issue about the security of Indians and Hindus in Canada, just because these people are creating the chaos outside the temples as well. So several people are taking up the issue, but the result and the impact is null and void. The governments are not taking these incidents very seriously, and the day is not far when these Khalistani radicals started demanding the Khalistan even in Canada also, just because these incidents are very much serious, and these incidents are being reported every day in Canada, in US, in Germany, in England, even in European countries also, Australia, New Zealand, wherever these activists are staying, residing, camping, and in fact they are spreading this radicalization among the youth as well. So this issue has been detailed discussed from New Delhi to several governments, but again the space is properly being provided, especially in Canada, to these radicals, and supporter of these radicals are Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is blaming Indian government for the killing of Khalistani Tiger Force, a banned organization's chief in Surrey itself. Yes.
Well, thank you, Amadi, for getting us all the details coming in. And top update, Khalistan activists gathered outside Lakshmi Narayan temple in Surrey, this is in Canada, viewers, and tried to create unrest with raising slogans. Second incident coming in of Khalistani elements trying to create unrest and issues and problems. Taking a very short break, much more coming up on India's #1 news channel, Republic TV. India alliance continues for naughty campaign. The TMC leader says they just might crash since PM Modi has taken sortie. Plus, on the final day of ceasefire, Hamas seeks extension. Netanyahu gives hint Israel ready for the deal. Stay tuned.
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi. all set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में नंबर 1 बना दिया है।
आज हमारी पार्टी, हमारी सरकार आपके साथ
Viewers, welcome back. You're watching Republic TV. I'm Shivangi Shukla. And what we see right now are continued efforts to rescue the 41 trapped workers in Uttarkashi. We are waiting for good news soon. And the vertical drilling from the top of the hill is making a swift progress as 31 meters of drilling work has been completed so far out of the 86 meters needed to reach the 41 trapped workers in the Silkyara tunnel as per officials. Now the drilling work is being done to lay an pipeline to aid the rescue, and at the same time the work is underway to retrieve the stuck part of the auger machine, viewers. So this is day 16 of the rescue mission, and all efforts are on right now to make sure that the 41 trapped workers will be rescued soon. Let's go ahead and play out the reactions coming in.
काफ़ी प्रयास सभी ने किया है। इसमें हमारे जो कटर हैं, काटने वाले हैं, उन्होंने आगर मशीन काट के पूरी निकाल ली है। आगे का कुछ पाइप का हिस्सा भी टेढ़ा हुआ है, वो भी नुकसान हुआ है, उसको भी काट के बाहर निकालेंगे। उसके बाद ड्रिलिंग का काम और पुशिंग का काम शुरू होगा। हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि जल्दी जल्दी ये काम पूरा होगा।
मुझे ये बताइए, आपको मैंने देखा आप टनल से बाहर निकल रहे थे, आप अंदर टनल में जो सिल्कियारा जो एंड है उस साइड कुछ काम कर रहे थे, हॉरिजॉन्टल एंड की तरफ, वो काम क्या है, क्या कर रहे थे आप?
वो ओगर काट रहे थे, और ओगर रात को जो सरिया फंसी हुई थी वो रात को हम उसे सुबह तक कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं। अब उसमें जो हम पत्थर मैनुअली काम करेंगे वो मैनुअली काम करना है हमें।
वो जो सरिया फंसी हुई थी वो कितनी दूर तक फंसी हुई थी? ऑगर जो मशीन है वो कितनी दूर का तक फंसा हुआ था?
वो 12 इंची थी अंदर जो था ओगर, बाकी तो टोटल शुरू से 46 मीटर था, वो बिल्कुल निकाल चुके हैं। आज हमारा कंप्लीट हो चुका है।
तो ऑगर का जो फिंस था, जो स्पाइरल फिंस है, वो आपने काट करके निकाल दिया है?
सब निकल चुका है, बस अब हमारा मैनुअली काम चालू है।
तो रैट माइनिंग का जो प्रोसेस है, जो उसको ड्रिल करने की प्रोसेस है, जो कि मैनुअली किया जाएगा, वो कितने बजे तक स्टार्ट करने जाएंगे?
वो हम 1-1.5-2 घंटे में स्टार्ट कर देंगे।
अच्छा, तो ये जो पूरा प्रोसेस है यहाँ से, अब जो मैनुअल ड्रिलिंग का प्रोसेस है, इसको करने में कितना वक्त लग सकता है?
ये हम सोच रहे हैं सुबह तक हो जाए, अभी हो जाए 2-4 घंटे में। हमारी कोशिश बहुत तेज चल रही है, जो हम इसे मैनुअली कम से कम 24 से 36 घंटे में इसे फाइनल कर देंगे।
तो आपका ये कहना है कि लगभग 24 घंटे के अंदर जो वर्कर्स फंसे हुए हैं उस टनल के अंदर, उनको बाहर निकाल लिया जाएगा। जी, आप भी इस मिशन के अंदर साथ जुड़े हुए हैं। आपकी जो टीम है, आपकी टीम में कितने लोग हैं साथ में?
11 लोग हैं टोटल।
अच्छा, तो 11 लोग जो काम कर रहे थे उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा प्रोसेस बताइए, किस तरीके से काम कर रहे थे, किनका क्या काम था?
जी सर, 11 बंदे हैं हम। 11 बंदों में 2-2 बंदों की एक टीम है हमारी। अच्छा, ठीक है। रेस्ट ले लेकर हम अंदर जाते हैं, मट्टी काटते हैं। फिलहाल तो हमने ये ओगर निकाला है काट के, जैसे भी है। वेल्डर भी हमारी साथ में लगे हुए हैं, जो ऐसी बात है। हाँ, तो इनको हमने काट के निकाला है। अब निकाल के हम फारिग हुए हैं इसको। ठीक है जी।
तो ये ऑगर मशीन को टोटल निकालने में, जब आप कल अंदर गए थे, तो टोटल कितना वक्त लगा उसको निकालने में?
ये ओगर तो 2 दिन से फंसी हुई है, पर लेकिन काम भी 2 दिन से बराबर चल रहा है इसके अंदर। थोड़ा सा ओगर बहुत लंबे पड़ गया था, उसको फंस गई, वो काट के निकाली है टुकड़ों में। 1-1 मीटर, आधा मीटर, 1.5 मीटर करके काट कर निकाली है उसको जी।
अच्छा, जैसा कि हम देख पा रहे हैं कि जो ये मैनुअल वर्क चल रहा था, इसका जो प्रोसेस है वो अभी स्टार्ट होने वाला है। इसमें क्या लग रहा है आपको कि कितनी देर लगेंगे आपको, कितने लोग एक साथ जो है वो वहाँ पर जाके काम कर सकें? क्योंकि अंदर जो स्पेस है वो बहुत कम है, तकरीबन 800 मिलीमीटर डायमीटर का स्पेस है।
2 ही जने जाते हैं सर।
एक बार में 2 जन जाएंगे। तो आपको क्या लग रहा है कि एक बार में जब 2 लोग जाएंगे तो 2 लोगों के निकलने का वेट करते हैं, फिर 2 लोग जाते हैं, तो इस प्रोसेस में टोटल कितना देर लग सकता है?
यही टाइम लगेगा, 24 से 36।
Viewers, we continue getting your top updates from the Israel-Hamas war. The Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu has hinted that Israel may agree to extend the ceasefire by a day. This after Hamas sought to extend the truce after the end of the 4-day period by seriously seeking to increase the number of released detainees as stated in the humanitarian truce agreement. Remember, today is the last day of the ceasefire, viewers. So Netanyahu is saying that they will agree to extend the ceasefire while we see that more hostages are being released. So the big question mark is, will there be a ceasefire extension? Let's go ahead and play out exactly what has been said, the statements coming out.
2 days ago, one of our fellow Americans, a little girl named Abigail, who turned 4 years old, she spent her birthday, and at least 50 days before that, held hostage by Hamas. Today, she's free, and Jill and I, together with so many Americans, are praying for the fact that she is going to be all right. Abigail was among 13 hostages released today from Gaza under the brokered and sustained, though intensive, U.S. diplomacy. She's now safely in Israel, and we continue to press and expect for additional Americans will be released as well. And we will not stop working until every hostage is returned to their loved ones. For weeks, I've been advocating to pause in the fighting for two purposes: to increase the assistance getting into the Gaza civilians who need help, and to facilitate release of hostages. And we know that innocent children in Gaza are suffering greatly as well, because this war that Hamas has unleashed has such consequences. Thousands have been killed, and from the earliest days of this crisis, I've worked closely with President Sisi of Egypt, the Israeli government, King Abdullah of Jordan, and leaders throughout the region to expand the delivery of critical humanitarian assistance to help innocent Palestinians in need who are not part of Hamas. Under this deal, fighting in Gaza has now been paused for 3 days.
Let's go straight to Gursimran is joining us live right now. Gursimran, I'm coming to you, and if you could take our viewers through what exactly is happening when it comes to the ceasefire. Now, Gursimran, you have been on the ground for more than a month now. The war has been happening for a while now as well, but there was a glimmer of hope when the ceasefire deal was struck. Is it a possibility, Gursimran, from what you understand, that the ceasefire might be extended?
See, it's highly possible that ceasefire will be extended because both the sides, be it Hamas or the side of Israel, they have shown their willingness that they are willing to continue with the ceasefire at least for a couple of more days in return of the hostages that are still in captivity of Hamas. It has been made amply clear by the Hamas side that they want to continue with the ceasefire, and similar lines have been taken by the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that Israel is also willing to continue with the ceasefire. If 10 additional abductees are released on every single day, it will mean a single day's ceasefire extension. And if we go by the number, there are roughly 170, and with today's release, because the list has been shared with the Israel side and also the Egypt by the Hamas. Now what it seems that roughly 150 citizens will be left in the when this deal will end, and it can take 15 days of more ceasefire pause if needed and if both the sides agrees. Now coming to the situation that is developing, now there is an international pressure on the Israel to go calm, though Israel is saying that they will go with their full might, but they also know that the international pressure will mount on them with each passing day, and that this diplomacy that the US and the Qatar mediated, this was result of the international pressure that Israel had to agree. And this is something the Israel also know that they need to get back their civilians, because it was one of the critical failures that their intelligence and the security forces had on ground on 7th of October, that this mass attack took place. So they want to ensure that those who are still in captivity of Hamas be released at an earliest, and this is the cheapest deal as per the expert that Israel has managed to crack. Because if you speak, it was a time, there was an incident when one soldier of the Israel Defense Forces was abducted by Hamas, and in return 1100 dreaded terrorists were to be released. This time they are releasing the civilians, the Palestinians, but none of them is a hardcore terrorist. So this is something respite for the Israel this time, that they are not breaking a deal that is too costly for them. And now coming to the situation that is developing, it is very clear that if there are no major bottlenecks, then there will be a ceasefire extension. And tomorrow also we will be seeing some 10 hostages that will be coming out, the 10 Israeli hostages, and probably some other negotiations that the Hamas is holding, be it with Turkey, Russia or the Qatar side, they might also bear some fruits, and some more foreign nationals are released today as well as tomorrow.
Well, thank you so much for joining us there. Gursimran has been on the ground. He's right now reporting from the armistice agreement line, and he has been getting us all the updates from the Israel-Hamas war from ground zero. Let's move ahead, viewers, to the other stories we're tracking from what's happening in the Israel-Hamas war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Sunday evening that if 10 more hostages are being captive in Gaza by Hamas militants could be released a day, it would be a blessed thing. He was speaking after Hamas freed 17 more hostages, including 14 Israelis and the first American in a third exchange under a 4-day truce. Israeli Army Chief spokesperson has said that the military was following its mission to return all the abductees home after Hamas freed more Israeli hostages under a ceasefire agreement. President Joe Biden has confirmed that Abigail Edan, a 4-year-old American girl held hostage by Hamas after her parents were killed, was released as part of the ceasefire deal in the Israel-Hamas war and was safely in Israel. US President Joe Biden said, and I quote here, a two-state solution is the only way to guarantee the long-term security of both the Israelis and the Palestinian people, to make sure Israelis and Palestinians alike can live in equal measures of freedom and dignity. We will not give up on working toward this goal. Over 36 Palestinian prisoners returned to a hero's welcome in the West Bank city of Ramallah on Sunday after being released by Israel in a ceasefire deal with Hamas. The release comes hours after Hamas released 17 hostages it had been holding in the Gaza Strip. Families and supporters of Israelis still being held hostage by Hamas in Gaza gathered for a vigil in Tel Aviv on Sunday. The vigil comes as 17 additional hostages were released on Sunday, a third day of the 4-day military pause between Hamas and Israel. Tech entrepreneur Elon Musk is set to meet Israeli President Isaac Herzog to discuss rising anti-Semitism online. Musk has been accused of amplifying anti-Jewish hatred on his social media platform. Viewers, much more coming up. Khalistanis provoke again, target Indian ambassador at Gurudwara in New York and raise Khalistani slogans. Plus, India Alliance continues for Northi campaign. The TMC leader says Tejas might crash since PM Modi has taken the sortie. Stay tuned.
राजस्थान की महिलाएं कांग्रेस सरकार को बर्दाश्त करने को तैयार नहीं है।
केसीआर ने पूरे देश में एक ही राज्य ऐसा है जहां रिलीजियस रिजर्वेशन दिया जाता है जो संविधान सम्मत नहीं है।
प्रधानमंत्री जी पैसा भेजते हैं, वह पैसा धरती पर यहाँ तेलंगाना में केसीआर की भ्रष्टाचारी सरकार नहीं लगा।
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more.
Or above may develop shingles, but it is possible to protect your loved ones from shingles through vaccination.
So to know more about shingles and prevention, consult your doctor today.
Experience a new Verilux progressive lens designed with artificial intelligence so it can predict your natural eye movement. Verilux XR series for instantly sharp vision in motion and seamless transitions from near to far. Verilux by Essilor.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies over 200 years.
All set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
राजस्थान की महिलाएं कांग्रेस सरकार को बर्दाश्त करने को तैयार नहीं है।
केसीआर ने पूरे देश में एक ही राज्य ऐसा है जहां रिलीजियस रिजर्वेशन दिया जाता है जो संविधान सम्मत नहीं है।
जो प्रधानमंत्री जी पैसा भेजते हैं वह पैसा धरती पर यहाँ तेलंगाना में केसीआर की भ्रष्टाचारी सरकार नहीं लगाती।
A very good afternoon. It's 12 p.m. We continue to be live and breaking. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. It's just the 3 days to, in fact, it's 3 days to go for Telangana polls, and the election campaigning is in its last leg. We'll get you our live coverage, starting first with the top headlines. Congress politicizes Pulwama attack, says soldiers martyred and then Modi came to power. India Alliance continues Panoti campaign. TMC MP says Tejas might crash since Prime Minister took sortie. Ahead of campaigning schedule, Prime Minister offers prayers at the Tirupati temple. Day 16 of Uttarkashi rescue operations, vertical drilling underway to pull out the 41 workers. Khalistanis provoke again, target Indian ambassador at Gurudwara in New York and raise Khalistani slogans. On day 4 of the ceasefire deal, Hamas seeks extension. Netanyahu gives hint, Israel ready for the deal. Now, a massive political storm has erupted over the Panoti insult by the Congress. In fact, it's not just the Congress, the TMC as well that has now waded in and repeated that Panoti remark. So this is a political storm that has erupted over India Alliance Panoti campaign, with the BJP now hitting out at the TMC MP. Note that the TMC has also hit a new low after TMC MP said that the Prime Minister is bad luck and that Tejas might crash since Prime Minister sat on it. Listen in to that reaction that's come in of the BJP spokesperson hitting out at the India Alliance over the Panoti insult, as well as over the remarks that were made by the TMC MP, who said that the Indian Air Force Tejas aircraft might crash as Prime Minister Modi sat in it. He also repeated the Panoti insult, a remark that was earlier made by the Congress. So while Congress still remains defiant and EC notice has of course been sent to Rahul Gandhi for those remarks, the TMC also having waded in, and it's not just the Panoti insult for that matter, it's the remarks that have also been made by the TMC MP Shantanu Sen, who says that the IAF's Tejas aircraft might crash as Prime Minister sat in it. And just to quote again the remarks that have now come in by the BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawala, who says that TMC MP Shantanu Sen has hit a new low, wants IAF fighter jet Tejas to crash because the Prime Minister sat in it. After demanding proof from Sena, now these parties want our Sena, Vayu Sena, to have casualties and losses in their hatred for the Prime Minister. Listen in to that remark that's coming from Shehzad Poonawala hitting out at the TMC and the Congress.
Today, a new low has been created in Indian politics when the Trinamool Congress, in its hatred for Prime Minister Modi and BJP, has allowed its hatred to transmutate into hatred for India and for its forces. When its MP Shantanu Sen says that the plane in which Mr. Modi, Prime Minister Modi, took a ride, went into the skies, the Tejas aircraft, which is a symbol of our pride, a symbol of our Atmanirbhar Bharat, that Tejas plane should also start crashing. This is the kind of hatred they have for Prime Minister Modi, which translates into hatred for our Sena. These are the same people who have asked for proof on surgical strike. These are the same people who, after Pulwama, when the airstrike was done, said that Cheel and Kawwas were killed, nothing happened. They spoke in the Pakistani narrative. In fact, Mamata Banerjee and TMC even said that Pulwama was fake. Pulwama never happened. It was an inside job. And now they want to wish for the death of our Air Force personnel. Because if Tejas crashes, obviously it will lead to a danger on the life of our pilots. They want the Indian Air Force to lose planes and the pilots to die because they have problem with Modi. They have allowed their hatred to go to such level that they sometimes mock ISRO, they sometimes mock Indian cricket team, they sometimes question Hindu and Sanatan Dharma. They want its elimination, and now after demanding proof from the Sena, they want people of the Sena to be casualties. Mamata Banerjee and TMC, if they have any ounce of integrity left, they must sack Shantanu Sen for this kind of statement. It is a statement that would only be expected from India's enemies, is being made by MP. Shocking.
प्रधानमंत्री जी का विरोध करते करते विपक्ष कहां तक पहुंच गया। आज टीएमसी के शांतनु सेन ये कह रहे हैं कि तेजस जो भारत का विमान है, शान है, लड़ाकू विमान है हमारा, कह रहे हैं क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री ने उससे सफर किया है, अब वो गिर जाएगा। मतलब इतने गंदे स्तर पर नीचे उतर आए हैं, इतनी गंदी राजनीति करते हैं। क्या बंगाल के लोग एयरफोर्स में नहीं है? आप उनके लिए ऐसी कल्पना कर रहे हैं कि तेजस गिर जाए और हम फिर प्रधानमंत्री को इसके लिए जिम्मेवार ठहराएं? आप ये कल्पना कर रहे हैं कि हमारे आर्मी के जवान, हमारे एयरफोर्स के जवान मारे जाएं और फिर आप प्रधानमंत्री को ब्लेम करें? इतनी गंदी राजनीति, इस गंदे स्तर की राजनीति क्या कभी किसी ने कल्पना की ऐसी? मैं हैरान हूं बंगाल की मुख्यमंत्री जी के ऊपर। वो अपने लोगों को इतना खुला छोड़ रखा है, वो कुछ भी बोले जा रहे हैं और आर्मी के खिलाफ, एयरफोर्स के खिलाफ, जवानों के खिलाफ बोले जा रहे हैं और ये कल्पना कर रहे हैं कि जवान मारे जाएं और हम प्रधानमंत्री को ब्लेम करें। मुझे लगता है इससे ज्यादा गंदी राजनीति नहीं हो सकती। आज देश के लोगों को देखना पड़ेगा कि कितने स्तर गंदा हो गया है राजनीति का।
All right, so the BJP going all guns blazing at the TMC MP for the remarks that he's made, saying that this is an insult for the defense forces as well as against the Prime Minister as well. Now remember, the TMC MP had said that the Prime Minister is bad luck and that Tejas might crash because Prime Minister had taken a sortie in it.
যখন মণিপুর দাও দাও করে জ্বলে তখন প্রধানমন্ত্রী যাওয়ার সময় হয় না। যখন উত্তরকাশীতে এতগুলো মানুষ গুহার মধ্যে আটকে থাকে তখন সেখানে তার যাওয়ার সময় হয় না। আর তিনি এখন তেজস করে ঘুরে বেড়াচ্ছেন। আমার ভয়টা অন্য জায়গায়। যে মানুষটা এই ভারতবর্ষে থাকাকালীন ইসরোর চন্দ্রযান মুখ থুবড়ে পড়ে, যে মানুষটার সাথে দেখা করার পর কঙ্কনা রানাওয়াতের মতো অভিনেত্রীর সিনেমা সুপারফ্লপ হয়, যে মানুষটার সাথে হাত মেলানোর পর বিরাট কোহলি 3 বছর সেঞ্চুরি থেকে বঞ্চিত থাকে, 10টা ম্যাচ জেতার পরেও ইন্ডিয়া টিম ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপে ফাইনালে যে মানুষটার উপস্থিতির জন্য হেরে যায়, সেই মানুষটা আজকে যে জানে চলেছে, আগামী দিনে সেই জানটা আবার মুখ থুবড়ে পড়ে যাবে না তো? এই চিন্তাটা ব্যক্তিগতভাবে আমাকে গ্রাস করছে।
All right, so there you heard, those were the remarks by the TMC MP Shantanu Sen, who's politicized the fact that Prime Minister took a sortie in the IF's Tejas, saying that it might crash just because the Prime Minister sat in it, something which the BJP has strongly responded to, saying that this is not acceptable and that the TMC MP must apologize for his remarks. So massive political storm over these remarks that were made by the TMC MP, and note that this is not just one-of-a-kind insult. Over the past few days, the Congress has also raked up certain matters, the latest one of course being the Panoti insult against the Prime Minister. Alright, we'll try and get more reactions to this, but as we track the latest on this story, listen in to another reaction that's coming from the BJP, hitting out at the TMC MP over the insult against the Prime Minister.
Today, a new law has been created in Indian politics when the Trinamool Congress, in its hatred for Prime Minister Modi and BJP, has allowed its hatred to transmutate into hatred for India and for its forces. When its MP Shantanu Sen says that the plane in which Mr. Modi, Prime Minister Modi, took a ride, went into the skies, the Tejas aircraft, which is a symbol of our pride, a symbol of our Atmanirbhar Bharat, that Tejas plane should also start crashing. This is the kind of hatred they have for Prime Minister Modi, which translates into hatred for our Sena. These are the same people who have asked for proof on surgical strike. These are the same people who, after Pulwama, when the airstrike was done, said that Cheel and Kawwas were killed, nothing happened. They spoke in the Pakistani narrative. In fact, Mamata Banerjee and TMC even said that Pulwama was fake, Pulwama never happened, it was an inside job. And now they want to wish for the death of our Air Force personnel. Because if Tejas crashes, obviously it will lead to a danger on the life of our pilots. They want the Indian Air Force to lose planes and the pilots to die because they have problem with Modi. They have allowed their hatred to go to such level that they sometimes mock ISRO, they sometimes mock Indian cricket team, they sometimes question Hindu and Sanatan Dharma. They want its elimination, and now after demanding proof from the Sena, they want people of the Sena to be casualties. Mamata Banerjee and TMC, if they have any ounce of integrity left, they must sack Shantanu Sen for this kind of statement. It is a statement that would only be expected from India's enemies is being made by MP. Shocking.
Alright, so there you heard a pointed attack by the BJP hitting out at the TMC as well as the Congress over the Panoti insult and the remarks that have been made by the TMC MP Shantanu Sen, who says that IF's Tejas may crash because of the Prime Minister. Note that there's still been not an iota of apology or any reaction post the statements that he made, saying that Tejas may crash just because the Prime Minister sat in it.
लूट खसोट का कोई एक्सपर्ट और कमीशन खोरी में माहिर कोई है तो वो केवल और केवल कट्टर बेईमान पापी आपके कन्वीनर अरविंद केजरीवाल है। अच्छा नहीं लगता है कि हम लोग प्रेस वार्ता करके बार बार ये जो भ्रष्टाचार हो रहा है उसको उजागर करते रहें, लेकिन किसी विभाग में कोई सरकारी काम होगा तो दौड़ा दौड़ा एक राजनीतिक व्यक्ति कट्टर बेईमान अरविंद केजरीवाल आएगा और कहेगा मेरी कमीशन का क्या, आया हूं तो कुछ तो लेके जाऊंगा। क्राइम मास्टर गोगो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, कुछ तथ्य आपके समक्ष पेश करके पुनः कुछ गंभीर सवाल पूछने का समय आ गया है। ये घोटाला जो उजागर हुआ है, दिल्ली जल बोर्ड स्कैम, और ये घोटाला है क्या? 10 एसटीपी सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट, इनको 2 कैटेगरी में बांटा गया। पहली कैटेगरी थी जिसमें केवल अपग्रेडेशन होना था, केवल अपग्रेडेशन, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। और दूसरी कैटेगरी थी जहां अपग्रेडेशन के साथ ऑगमेंटेशन, कैपेसिटी बढ़ाने का भी काम होना था। कैटेगरी 1 अपग्रेडेशन और कैटेगरी 2 अपग्रेडेशन प्लस ऑगमेंटेशन, दोनों में 5-5 एसटीपी थे। 2022 में दिल्ली जल बोर्ड ने ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जो है ठेकेदारों को दिए। इनकी कुल जो वैल्यू थी, मॉनेटरी वैल्यू, ये 1938 करोड़ के आसपास है। सारांश अगर बताऊं और उसके बाद डिटेल्स में जाएंगे, क्या घोटाला किया, क्या अनियमितताएं हैं, क्या इलीगैलिटीज हैं, कानून को कैसे ताक पे रखा, लेकिन जो बहुत आवश्यक है बताना कि एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट गलत लगाई और कम होनी चाहिए थी, यह मुद्दा अभी मैं बताऊंगा। लेकिन एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट आई 1500 करोड़ के आसपास, 1500 करोड़। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जो दिए गए ये कितने के दिए गए? ये करीब 1950 करोड़, मतलब 30% वृद्धि हो गई। जो खुद एस्टिमेट लगवाया था उसके ऊपर 30% वृद्धि करके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दे दिए गए। यह चिंताजनक है। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, आपने तो एक भ्रष्टाचार के सबसे बड़े कलाकार बनके एक और घोटाला कर डाला। इफ देयर इज अ politician who's mastered the art of corruption, deceit, lies, commission, it is Arvind Kejriwal. I repeat, one politician of India who's mastered the art of corruption, deceit, lies, commission, it is Arvind Kejriwal. कोई सरकारी काम मेरे पास आना चाहिए, घोटाला होगा, 100% गारंटी है। अरविंद केजरीवाल की गारंटी यह है कि अगर कोई सरकारी काम आएगा तो उसमें भ्रष्टाचार और कमीशन खोरी तो वो करेंगे ही करेंगे। इस मंच से मैं पूछना चाहता हूं अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, मैं जानता हूं भ्रष्टाचार करने के आप पीएचडी होल्डर हैं, तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी भी वो स्कूल मास्टर है जो ईमानदारी से जनता के मुद्दे उठाती है। हम गलत हैं तो जनता हमें बख्शेगी नहीं, और अगर जो सवाल मैं उठा रहा हूं इनमें से किसी एक का उत्तर आप दे दें तो मैं समझता हूं कि जिस पारदर्शिता की, ईमानदारी की बात करके आप राजनीति में आए थे, जनता को भी लगेगा कि हां, क्राइम मास्टर गोगो कट्टर बेईमान अरविंद केजरीवाल कुछ तो गुण रखता है। पहला, 10 एसटीपी अपग्रेडेशन और ऑगमेंटेशन होने थे, और यह सरकारी नियम है। सीपीडब्ल्यूडी की मैनुअल कहती है कि डीपीआर, डिटेल्ड प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट, बनना आवश्यक है। तो पहला प्रश्न यह है, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, 10 का अपग्रेडेशन और ऑगमेंटेशन होना था, आपने कितनी डीपीआर बनवाई? 10 बननी चाहिए, मुश्किल गणित तो है नहीं। लेकिन कट्टर बेईमान अरविंद केजरीवाल ने 2 ही डीपीआर बनवाई। 2 डीपीआर, वो भी जहां पे एस्टिमेट और प्राइस बढ़ा दिया, और उनको 10 के 10 जो प्रोजेक्ट्स थे उन पे लागू कर दिया। और यहां पे भी घोटाला करा। यहां क्या घोटाला करा? मैंने आपको बताया, कैटेगरी 2 में अपग्रेडेशन और ऑगमेंटेशन दोनों है। एक साधारण व्यक्ति भी ये जान जाएगा कि अपग्रेडेशन केवल होगा तो कॉस्ट कम होगी, और अगर दोनों है तो कॉस्ट ज्यादा होगी। अरविंद केजरीवाल इतने बड़े घोटालेबाज हैं, भ्रष्टाचारी पेट इनका भरता नहीं है। इन्होंने कैटेगरी 2 का जो एस्टिमेट लिया था वही कैटेगरी 1 पे भी लागू कर दिया। मतलब एस्टिमेट आया कि हम अपग्रेड भी करेंगे एसटीपी को, सुएज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट को, और साथ साथ ऑगमेंट करेंगे, कैपेसिटी भी बढ़ाएंगे। अरविंद केजरीवाल ने मौका पाया भ्रष्टाचार करने का। उन्होंने कहा कि अगर अपग्रेडेशन और ऑगमेंटेशन की कॉस्ट ज्यादा है और ये मैं सब पे लगा दूंगा, और 5 एसटीपी ऐसे हैं जहां ऑगमेंटेशन होना नहीं, तो जो टेंडर का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का रकम है वो बढ़ जाएगी। जब रकम बढ़ेगी तो वसूली अपने आप ज्यादा हो पाएगी। तो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, ये बताइए, ये कैटेगरी 2 के जितने प्लांट थे, इनका एस्टिमेट कैटेगरी 1 पे आपने क्यों लागू किया? ये तो बड़ा व्यापक सवाल है, सब जानना चाहते हैं। तीसरी बात,
Heading into a very short break, coming up on the other side, the latest on Uttarkashi rescue mission, vertical drilling underway. Also tracking the latest on the Khalistani extremism on the rise in Canada and the US.
Supreme's over 9,000 and more plumbing and drainage products and water tanks are made from high-quality raw materials and innovative designs. Supreme Total Piping Solutions, with you for a lifetime.
You are the one. Unmatched. Unequaled. Unbeatable. LG OLED Evo, the one and only.
गोल का स्टाइलिश पंखा सिर्फ हवा ही नहीं देता, आपके आलीशान घर के कोने कोने में ठंडी हवा के झोंके पहुंचाता है।
कूल फैंस के स्टाइलिश डिजाइन से घर को सुंदर बनाएं। 5 स्टार BLDC कूल फैन से बिजली भी बचाएं।
समय आ गया है घर के पंखे बदलने का और कूल फैंस घर लाने का।
जामनगर की भट्ट फैमिली को तारे देखना पसंद है, जम्मू की भट्ट फैमिली को सितारे देखना पसंद है। फैमिलीज जितनी भी सेम लगे, होती अलग है। इसलिए नया VMAX पोस्टपेड, जो दे हर फैमिली को उनकी पसंद की चॉइसेस, जैसे Ease My Trip, Amazon Prime and more. VMAX postpaid. Choose what you want to use.
4 walls don't make a home. A home is made with your loved ones and their dreams. All we do is stand by you. After all, it is you who turns a house into a home. SBI Home Loans, always a friend in your journey of making a house a home.
When your loved ones go through the pain of shingles, that may feel like the pain of a lot of nails piercing your body, or an unbearable burning sensation, or an electric shock-like pain at every moment, then you would feel their pain, wouldn't you?
Every 1 in 3 people aged 50 years or above may develop shingles. But it is possible to protect your loved ones from shingles through vaccination.
So to know more about shingles and its prevention, consult your doctor today.
From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit, Sustaining the Dream Run, on 5th December in New Delhi.
Now, on day 2 of his visit to Tirupati, Prime Minister Modi visited the famous hill shrine of Lord Venkateshwara in Tirumala and offered prayers for the good health, well-being and prosperity of the Indians.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the Tirumala shrine early on Monday morning at around 8 a.m. To seek the blessings of Sri Venkateshwara. And the Prime Minister reached the Tirumala area on Sunday night at the Renigunda airport. Priests at the Tirumala temple, in fact, showered the Prime Minister with Vedic blessings. The Prime Minister will be back to the state of Telangana to conduct his campaign. And there is a massive roadshow that the Prime Minister is conducting today in the city of Hyderabad to campaign for the Bharatiya Janata Party in the upcoming elections, which is on the November 30th. The Prime Minister will be in Telangana in a couple more hours for this campaigning. And earlier today at 8 a.m. in the morning, he visited the Tirumala shrine to seek the blessings of Sri Venkateshwara for Telangana, not just Telangana, but for all the people in the country.
Heading into a short break, coming up on the other side, Khalistanis provoke again, target Indian ambassador at Gurudwara, New York, and raise Khalistani slogans. And on final day of the ceasefire, Hamas seeks extension. Netanyahu gives hint Israel ready for the deal.
Amity University has been conferred the Intellectual Property Award 2023 by the Confederation of Indian Industry CII for its patent portfolio, a reflection of Amity's commitment to research and innovation. With over 250 granted patents, 33 faculty in the Stanford top 2% scientists of the world, and an H index of 133.
मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ ने प्रदेश की सत्ता संभालने के साथ ही लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को अपनी प्राथमिकताओं में रखा। योगी सरकार के अविरत प्रयासों से आज प्रदेश में कानून का राज स्थापित हुआ और अपराध में काफी कमी दर्ज की गई। 2016 के सापेक्ष 2022 में विभिन्न अपराधों में कमी दर्ज की गई है। एनसीआरबी के आंकड़ों के अनुसार प्रदेश में डकैती के अपराध में वर्ष 2016 के सापेक्ष वर्ष 2022 में 468% की कमी, लूट के अपराध में 202% की कमी, बलात्कार के अपराध में 77% की कमी, हत्या के अपराध में 59% की कमी, बलवा के अपराध में 123% की कमी, गृह भेदन के आरोप में 11% की कमी तथा फिरौती के लिए अपहरण के अपराध में 103% की कमी दर्ज की गई है।
थैंक यू। सेफ्टी की इतनी चिंता? हाँ। तो पेमेंट सिर्फ वीजा से ही करना। वीजा की जीरो लायबिलिटी पॉलिसी गलत पेमेंट और फ्रॉड से बचाती है, और अगर कार्ड खो जाए या चोरी हो जाए तब भी अकाउंट बिल्कुल सेफ रहता है। टैप टू पे विद वीजा, सेफ रहने का स्मार्ट तरीका।
पहले मैं जिद्दी थी, अब आप अड़ जाते हो। पहले मैं अपने मन की करती थी, अब आप अपनी चलाते हो। पहले मैं नहीं समझती थी, अब आप वक्त लगाते हो। नजरें चाहे हों दो, है सपना एक ही हमारा।
सपने आपके, लैमिनेट्स हमारा। अमेजिंग स्पेसेस के लिए ड्रीम लैम लैमिनेट्स, कुछ मेरा कुछ तुम्हारा।
All set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
Live and breaking, I'm Shivangi Shukla, getting you the latest. And what we are seeing are some stories coming in, especially we're tracking what's happening in the Uttarkashi rescue operation. And number two, we see one more provocation coming in, Khalistani elements provoking once again in the US, and also we are seeing some ruckus being created in Canada's Surrey. We'll get you all the details of that, but first the headlines we are tracking right now. Congress criticizes Pulwama attack, says soldiers martyred, and then Modi came to power.
When its MP Shantanu Sen says that the plane in which Mr. Modi, the Tejas aircraft, that Tejas plane should also start crashing.
India Alliance continues a Panoti campaign. The TMC MP says Tejas might crash since PM took sortie. Shocking revelation in Prayagraj investigation. ATS suspects accused carried out a lone wolf attack on the bus conductor. Day 16 of Uttarkashi rescue operations, vertical drilling underway to pull out the 41 trapped workers. Khalistanis provoke again, target Indian ambassador at Gurudwara in New York and raise Khalistani slogans. On the final day of ceasefire, Hamas seeks extension. Netanyahu gives hint. Israel ready for the deal.